What's up guys, David here. Welcome to another video. I'm so excited for this one, and I know you guys are too, because we are in front of the new Wes Audio NgTubeComp, an absolute monster of sound and versatility, but also a showcase of how advanced the technology is today. In fact, like all the other Wes Audio product, we have a full analog path. Tube and iron in this case, digitally controlled, packed with 6 tubes, 4 transformers, dual output, 3 compression modes, stereo, dual mono, mid-side, tube saturation circuit, the absolute best sidechain integration I've ever seen on any compressor, sidechain listening functions, and advanced compressor modes in form of feed-forward, feedback, and limit mode. This might be Wes Audio best unit to date, and that says a lot because Wes Audio has some of the best gear on the market. If you follow me, you already know that this is not my first rodeo with this compressor. In fact, I had a unit right here in this studio back in January. Even before NAMM, the guys at West brought it here. We spent a day with it. So I already knew everything there was to know about this compressor, tested it, tried it, heard it by the time this unit got here. So get ready for the video. Wes Audio, NgTubeComp, and MixBus TV. Hello everyone, welcome back to MixBus TV. Hope you guys are having a great day. Before we start, as usual, check the info box down below for free plugin special discounts, offers, and of course, link to the Wes Audio NgTubeComp. If you want to book mix and mastering with me, go to the website mixbustv.com. In there, you will find all the mix and mastering courses as well. You can book mix consultations, private lessons, and a lot more. If you want to access the exclusive library of in-depth mix and mastering videos here on YouTube, click the join button, become a MixBus TV member, get all the perks. And if the videos are helping you, please consider using the super thanks or grab some merch. Let's get to it. There is a lot to unpack because this might be the most feature-packed compressor in the Wes Audio line. So let's take a look at the faceplate and all the functions. First of all, absolutely gorgeous faceplate, anodized black metal with our analog VU meter, digital display in the middle, and of course our touch-sensitive encoder. You can see the lights brightening up as soon as I touch them. This is because, of course, this unit is full analog, digitally controlled with two-way communication from and to the unit and your DAW. So when you move any knob or touch any button, the plugin follows, and the other way around. When you do the same on the plugin, the unit follows. That also means that you can write automation. If you put your DAW in touch or write, as soon as you touch a knob, the computer will recognize that you're moving something and it will write it, and of course read the automation after during playback. Note then whenever you touch a knob, you will get the name of the knob that you're moving and the value automatically. So when you touch a mix, touch release, any of the functions or the buttons, you will get the information in the digital display and the exact value. The controls are the following. Mirror, of course, for the other channel. We have a threshold, mix knob, attack, limit button, input knob, feed forward or feedback button, release, and then the first dual function knob. The saturation knob controls the saturation amount. This is great because it allows you to change the gain staging of the tube and of course saturate them more or less without touching the input and output, and of course without affecting the compression that you set up. Quick pressing this button will switch to, you see the THD lights light up, and this now controls the amount of THD, which is the same that you find on the NG bus and the 2BQ. Now here's a cool thing. If you long press it, it will bypass whatever side you are controlling at the moment. So in this case, THD. If I long press it, it will activate it again. If I switch to saturation and long press it, it will bypass the tube saturation circuit. And if instead I double tap it, it will bypass both at the same time, double tap it again, and they will both be back in the circuit. Absolutely genius. We have the output knob, self-explanatory, but this is the second double function knob. If we tap it, you can see that all the compressor turned red. This means that you engage the iron output. So this compressor has 2 output, a clean one, green, and an iron with transformer to give you another color option. So you have the iron, you have the tube circuit, and you have the THD. This makes this compressor one of the most versatile color-wise because you can do any combination of how much iron, how much THD, how much tube saturation, all independently. Not only that, but despite the fact that you can drive the tube circuit independently, you can still drive the input and compensate for the output for a different collection of harmonics, just like you would do with any other VariMu compressor. Next to the output knob, we have the iron pad. This allows you to drive the output transformer as much as you want and then bring back the level, because of course the pad comes after the transformer, so you can really dose the color of the output as much as you want and still level matching. The sidechain knob works pretty much like the saturation knob, has multiple functions. Right now I'm tweaking the HPF, so we're removing the low end from the detector so our compressor doesn't overreact to the low end, right? If I tap it, now I have the top end sidechain. This instead pushes a bell into the sidechain that goes from 2K to 20K, so you can really fine tune what you want your compressor to react. Maybe harsh consonants, maybe S's. And just like the other knob, if we press it once, we switch from one side, so HPF, to LPF, and if we long press, it will bypass the side of the sidechain that we are tweaking at the moment, that we are controlling at the moment. Double tap and it will bypass both and back in the circuit. We then have our release knob, and by the way, one absolutely impressive thing about this compressor, which is a VariMu, I remind you, is how fast this thing can be. It's mind-blowing, and I will show you in the audio example. The release, by the way, can go from 0-10, and again, you can see our display tells us the value, to 3 seconds, while the attack goes from 0.5 to 100 milliseconds. If this wasn't enough, we have the feed forward and feedback mode. And you can see again in the display, you can see what mode you're in by pressing the button, all right? Lastly, for our mirror controls, we have the limit button. Think of this as a high ratio, so from compression to limiting. Very, very effective. You will see how many uses this one has. Paired with a fast attack, you can almost use this as a limiter, and for a VariMu compressor is absolutely insane. We then have our center section with the 3 compression modes: dual mono, stereo, mid-side. Bypass button, which also turns off the lights on our VU meters. And then we have internal presets with front button, so we can store our favorite presets, A, B, C, or maybe copy one setting to another and tweak one parameter and then quickly compare A and B. Of course, because this is digitally controlled, the plugin interface can hold as many presets as you want, but you have these 3 recallable from the faceplate. Then we have the parameter link. This is kind of self-explanatory, but I'll still explain it for people who are not familiar. So when the parameter link is engaged, of course, you move one knob, you can see the other follows. But let's say you are in mid-side mode and you don't want the parameters to follow, you want individually set the parameter, or maybe you are in dual mono, same thing. You can disengage the parameter link and now you can tweak each side independently, all right? Pretty cool. And of course, if we do a close-up of our digital meter here, you can see that we have an input and output metering, all right? So as I turn the gain up or down, I have my levels displayed here so I can quickly look, but also we have a gain reduction meter. As I turn the threshold down, you can see the gain reduction displayed here in the orange bars. And of course, again, like I said, every time I touch something, it will give me the name of the function and the value. For example, you can see I'm tweaking the tube now, and if I switch to the transformer output, you can see the name changes from tube to tube plus iron. What a fantastic piece of gear. But before getting to the audio examples, I want to answer the most common question that I know is gonna pop up in the comment. How does it compare sound-wise with the West Audio RIA, which is also a VariMu compressor in 500 series? They are extremely different, to my surprise. They have 2 completely different colors. First of all, the RIA doesn't have the independent tube circuit saturation. The color comes from how much you drive the input versus the output. This one has both. Also, the RIA doesn't have the dual stage output, but the main difference is in the tone. The RIA is bright and open. It adds a shine at the top, even though subtle. This one is definitely bolder, bigger, heavier, rounder, warmer if you want. I don't like the word, but that's the word. And it's still open and airy, and that's the beauty of it. If you run the green output, so the clean output, and you don't drive the tube circuit too much, because the tube circuit adds weight, and density and low mids and lows, and it kind of rounds off the transient. Especially if you exaggerate the tube, you will hear it bends the transient in the most musical way. If you then add the iron output, the red output, then it's a whole lot of color, but you can control it. And then you have the variable THD, which the RIA only has 3 settings. This has fully variable THD, and you can combine these 3 colors any way you want. Let's take a look at the plugin interface, which has a new look and some unique functions. All right, here's the plugin interface. We have this new black design, and all the functions that are present on the hardware unit are mirrored here in the plugin. Notice that in the plugin we have 2 separate knobs as opposed to 1 knob with double function like we have on the unit, but they have the same function. When we engage the iron, also the plugin turns all red, as you can see here, with the output and the pad, which of course follows, all the controls follows on the unit itself. Also on the plugin we have this cool link wheel, and this will automatically compensate with the iron pad for the output. You can see very, very cool. We have our graphic display that shows the gain reduction, of course input and output meter here, but here's the cool thing. You can see here we have EQ sidechain filter. If I click on it, you can visualize the curve of your sidechain, internal sidechain, which is what triggers the compressor. If this one is not engaged, when you turn a knob, it will temporarily go to the sidechain filter view and then back to the gain reduction meter. Absolutely genius. I love how they implemented the digital control and the plugin interface on this one. Love it to death. And as we said before, we have a sidechain listen button, which is right here. And this was not easy to design, but let me show it to you. So we play a song, and if I click on it, you can see I can hear my internal sidechain and what triggers the compression. Of course, you can engage this function also from the hardware unit. To disengage from the hardware unit, you press the iron pad, and to engage the listening, you press the iron pad and the output button at the same time, and you are in sidechain listening mode. So you can do it from both. One thing that you can do from the G-Con system on this unit is to change the LED's touch mode in high power, medium, low or off, and also the meter light mode. If you take a look at the unit, now I'm in max, and then we have high, med, medium, low, and low. So I'll put it in low so you can see the difference from the unit, and everything in between. I like high, and yeah, you can change this one as well. Without further ado, let's hear it in action. All right, we start in clean mode, no tube, no THD, just hear how musical the compressor is.
Whenever I'm alone with you, you make me feel like I am whole again. Whenever I'm alone with you, you make me feel like I am fun again. However far away, I will always love you. However long I stay, I will always love you.
Absolutely magical. That's my description of it. Notice one thing for people, oh, you need to level match. This is how much I'm compensating. 2 dB, and I'm compressing 3+. And you heard immediately, because this is gonna happen for the entire video, so settle down. Understand that the perceived loudness, it's gonna be louder because that's the function of a compressor, generally speaking. Plus, you heard it immediately when I pushed the tubes a little bit, how fat this thing became. And that's the main difference that I find between this compressor and the RIA. The RIA, it adds airiness. This one adds this weight and overall 20 to 20K saturation and harmonic content, which it feels just denser and absolutely beautiful. We're gonna start playing with feed forward and limit.
Whenever I'm alone with you, you make me feel like I am whole again. Whenever
All right, you heard it, you saw it immediately. As we switch to feed forward, it grabs a lot more, okay? That's normal, and same with the limit, even more. Now, for a song like this, it's kind of a no-brainer. You will go for feedback because it fits better the track. You also notice two things. There's a lot of range in the color, and there's a lot of range in the color. So the lesson is, just because you have it all doesn't mean that you need to use it. Because of course, if you just push the THD and push the tube, and then you also add the iron, it's gonna be a lot. They are meant to be mostly used in combination in small doses, especially on a full mix, and you can do creative things on 808 and drums. I'm gonna show you that in a minute. But especially for a full mix, you wanna be like conservative with these settings, especially now I'm gonna engage the iron and show you again how much beef it adds at the bottom end.
Whenever I'm alone with you, you make me feel like I am whole again. Whenever I'm alone with you, you make me feel like I am fun again. However far away, I will.
All right, this is not subtle. The iron is not subtle. Even at 0, even without driving it, it's a lot of thick color, all right? One thing I want to show you, I'm going to go and switch to drums because you need to understand how freaking fast this thing can be. I don't know any other volume compressor where you can do this, and I'll explain briefly what I just did. If I want to add sustain and room to this drum kit, I keep the attack all the way down to 0.5 millisecond, and I just blend it with the dry signal, right? So this is the all wet sound that we get. It's a limited sound. Notice feed forward and limit. And now we blend it with the dry signal. I added density and thickness and space and room and everything without adding transient, right? Now, if I want the opposite, I can also do that with this. I can add such a nasty snap that I've never heard with any other volume, just by putting the attack slower. Go back to fully wet and then we'll blend with the dry again. absolutely incredible, right? And notice that, like I said in the intro, we don't just have the tube to saturate the circuit, but we still also have the input and output. And I kind of like to drive the input a little bit, even to get more compression. Absolutely amazing. Let's try this on some more material. Some dance music. Even on high energy material like an EDM song, this is so perfect because it's so versatile. And it actually surprised me every time, because I always think that too much tube or the iron would not work on something that has like a lot of punchy transient, and you heard this instead. The tube and the THD, this combination enhanced the snappiness of the snare and the kick. Let's do some hip hop and we'll play with the mid side.
No sunshine on this side of town. You could get lost and never be found. Fuck it, I'ma ride out till my fucking time's out. So I gotta make it, it's do or die now. And my soul is tainted, should've been out by now. Running out of patience, losing my mind now. Feel like I gotta watch my back, I'm in danger. Used to be homie, some changed up, hard working, now they say look, just caked up. I made up my mind, I gotta get the bag. Shorty, I am not the one, so don't you get attached. And where I am from, it's like we never had. So if I gotta split, then I get the better half. And I just paint the picture, and I ain't never rap. Got my mind on my money, money on my mind, and these streets kinda funny. So I hang on to that line, and my wrist looking lovely, but girl, you can't get my time, because time equal money is too easy to decide. I'm hungrier than ever, you could see it in my eye.
It had so much thickness, it's crazy. This is definitely a beefy type of sound. That's what you grab if you want to make something feel heavier and denser. It's funny because this compressor has so many options for color, but at the same time a very clear position in the studio. I'm here, I'm big, I sound like I look. I love this. And plus you have all the other options. Let's try out some other genre.
Yeah, peacock and assassin. Ha, feel the rush of adrenaline. Yeah, pull back again, pump the right medicine. Pick up the veterans. Peacock and assassin. Feel the rush of adrenaline, yeah. Pull back again, pump the right medicine, pick up the veterans. You showing up when I'm showing up that meat like Ed Gein, I'm that mean. That beats, I beat the debt with the dead sheep, cold feet, like cop killers meet and pose.
Let's see how we handle some low end.
I'm sick of this game. I'm sick, let me hate. Let me off the crazy train. I'm sick of your face, I'm sick of heartache. Goodbye, goodbye to the tears. Goodbye, goodbye to the fears. Good times last for a dime. Good times until our time. You know what you're doing, you know how you're moving. Days dark lipstick on those cherry blossom.
I don't want to hear a word about the level, all right? I'm compressing over 4 dB, compensating for 3.25. Did you hear the mid-range on this vocal? It comes at you so clear, there's so much enhancement, and granted that I'm exaggerating the color here for 2-bus, but it's just to showcase the unit and to make it, you know, obvious for the video, because I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna watch this on a phone. Last mix before going to some single tracks, we already did drums, but we're gonna do maybe bass and vocals and something else.
Manifest the works that I live is still gonna have to rise up the red, gold and green banner. So me no give a damn if them a critical rascana, yo. Me touch the road, I hail the warrior on the corner. The city street, Oscar, the countryside farmer. We a live by the code and them not disrespect the order. No fool could have violate the border, we no wash them Prada. In a no mud, me nah go walla. No beg them, no friends about, cause them me nah go follow. Them a the dan, but was the man stand taller. So me no red eye when them dreams, so them a the big time baller, yo. I coulda hold me man, I coulda snake time, I still them can't get to you from on ya. Right now, me no want the stress nor the drama. Some me just go like me one piece of marijuana, and I tell them say, I know one day I will make it. Real warriors, we ain't gonna fake it. With positivity, the world we come to take it. The wicked man bangs, we break it. A Sunday, said I know one day I will make it. Real warriors, we ain't gonna fake it. With positivity, the world we come to take it. The wicked man bangs, yo, enough of them, move vibe to them material wealth. Like them don't know the foremost thing a life or health. Them really need to stop think and check themselves. For renting at the yacht of fire, them a go melt. Well, me no run.
Let's do some single tracks. Let's start with vocals right away.
Happiness is a butterfly. Try to catch it like every night. It escapes from my hands into moonlight. Happiness is a butterfly. Try to catch it like every night. It escapes from my hands into moonlight. Every day is a lullaby. Hum it on the phone like every night. Sing it for my babies on the tour of life. Ah, happiness is a butterfly. Try to catch it like every night. It escapes from my hands into moonlight.
Again, how much thickness it adds, how much density it adds. And notice one thing. You remember how fast this thing was on drums, right? I have 0.5 milliseconds attack on the vocals. Not budging, not giving me any kind of artifacts.
Happiness is a butterfly. Try to catch it like every night. It escapes from my hands into moonlight. Every day is a lullaby. Hum it on the phone like every night. Sing it for my babies on the tour of life. Ah.
Do you hear how smooth this thing is? And I'm compressing. You saw it 12 dB and it's smooth as butter. But notice my trick here in this case, I'm keeping the vocals with the slow release, as slow as I can, always under the curve. That's one technique that I like to do with volume compressor, and this one is like so musical at it.
It's Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy. And honey, I stay stoned on your love all the time.
Absolutely beautiful, and I wanted you guys to see how dynamic this vocal is, and it still just keeps it there, no artifact whatsoever. Such a musical type of compression. It's so dense. I love how it brings up the low-level information, but it's never nervous, it's never snappy. It's just kind of lifted up, and like here you have it. Now it's better. It sounds really freaking good, but you know, we were not expecting anything less, I feel, from West Audio, because they've been killing it forever. And this is it, my friends. This was the just released West Audio NgTubeComp, an absolute monster. I want to say the peak of analog gear technology, perfectly integrated with digital control. It sounds absolutely amazing. This is where it's at. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like. Comment down below if you have questions. Check the info box before you go. You will find the link to get the West Audio NgTubeComp. If you want to book mix and mastering with me, go to the website mixbustv.com. In there you will also find all the mix and mastering courses. If you want to access the exclusive video library here on YouTube, click the join button, become a MixBustV member. And if you like the videos, please consider using the super thanks or grab some merch. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Stay safe. See you next time. This guy.